last week or so has given us a bunch of different teasers for what is coming up within the next operation within Black Ops 4, that title update coming on Tuesday. And well, we actually, as of last night, got a bunch of information, a lot of it pertaining to weapon tuning, the first big weapon tuning pass in a couple of months now, and probably the biggest one yet since the initial two that we had seen within Black Ops 4's life cycle, and there's a lot on deck. So today we're going to be talking about all the different weapon changes here that will be happening as of Tuesday, come 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You'll end up getting title update 1.13, to which you'll end up being able to jump in with these newer weapons adjusted and altered in their various different ways. So real quickly up front, this might be a very dry video because we're going to be talking about a lot of things in terms of weapon properties, but I'll try and make it as interesting as possible, try and give you guys as much relevant information along with it. But that said, let's just jump right into it. Before we get into the actual stuff, I want to give you guys the kind of other big thing here out of this breakdown. They did confirm that League Play will be coming this week. That'll be coming on the 21st for PlayStation 4 first. Then a week later, we'll end up seeing that on Xbox One and PC. And again, I've said it so many times, I still don't understand why League Play is something that is being branded as a core mechanic of the game, but that's being held back by exclusivity. Genuinely don't get that one, but that's something that will be coming on the 21st. But as for the weaponry, let's jump right into it. Let's start out with the rifle category. The ICR-7 is one that's going to only have some adjustments on PC, so on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it should be relatively all the same. You're going to end up seeing that there is an improved ADS sway and improved hipfire accuracy on PC. For the Rampart 17, it has 2 PC-only adjustments and 1 for all platforms. Starting with the all-platform adjustment, that actually improved the max damage range from 37.6 yards to 41.6 yards in-game. That's something that can get a little bit tough to calculate, but it is something you'll notice a little bit of a difference here, is my guess, whenever you end up playing around with this and getting those slightly longer range shots here with this. For the PC-only adjustments, it improved the ADS sway and improved the hipfire accuracy, which is also something across the board for the rifles. You'll end up seeing that this was a common balancing act that is on every single one of these weapons, minus the Vapor. So by all indications here with this one, it's a slight buff to the Rampart. As for the KN57, again, there is those 2 PC-only exclusive changes of the improved ADS sway and improved hipfire accuracy. Again, all those except for the Vapor, so I'm just not going to mention it for the rest of these. And then it also improved the max damage range from 15.2 yards to 17.3 yards. Again, a little bit of a buff here if you want to consider it that way for the KN. For the Vapor on all platforms, it's something that improved the 5-hit kill range from 34.7 yards to 50 yards. Again, another slight buff, and it decreased the amount of ADS idle sway that there is, improving that ever so slightly as well. For the Maddox, this is one that seemingly will have a bunch of changes here to this. It reduced the recoil stability in the first 5 shots in the bullet pattern, so if you end up taking those first couple of shots at range, you may notice they're not as accurate because they're probably going to have a different recoil pattern than that of what there is now, which is relatively stable. The Fire Operator mod has an improved recoil stability, which makes that a little bit better. The Quick Draw attachment has a reduced ADS in speed, and same goes for Quick Draw 2, so slightly nerfing that a little bit. For the stock attachment, that also reduced the ADS move speed as well. The ELO sight has reduced recoil stability on this as well. So a little bit of a nerf in a lot of the different aspects for the Maddox, but in some cases with the Fire Operator mod in particular, it's a little bit more stable. Now for console only, it reduced the max damage range from 23.6 yards to 20.8 yards. Then on PC only, again, you have those improved ADS sway and hipfire accuracy. So in that sense, on one platform, it does have a slight buff, but everything else is still rather nerf given all things considered. As for the SMGs, the MX-9 has an improved 5-hit kill range from 5.5 yards to 7.6 yards and an improved ADS in speed. So it's a little bit faster when you ADS down those sights. And on PC only, you're going to have an improved damage by adding that 5-hit kill range out to be 7.6 yards. And again, as with what we saw with the rifles, this is kind of something you'll see across the board for all the SMGs, but in different ranges. The GKS improved the 5-hit kill range from 2.7 yards to 5.5 yards, so literally doubling that range that it has for its max damage. And then also, again, it improved the damage by adding the 5-hit kill range out to 5.5 on PC. For the Spitfire, this one's changed a bit as well. It reduced the max damage range from 9.7 yards to 7.6, so it's going to be a more closer quarters weapon as compared to what it was before, even though, truth be told, 10 yards still isn't all that much in-game. The stock attachment was adjusted by reducing the ADS move speed, the extended mags reduced the magazine size, and the fast mags attachment reduced the reload speed enhancement. And as well on PC, for those guys over there that just love this thing, it also reduced the hipfire accuracy. So quite a hefty nerf here to the Spitfire, but how much that'll actually translate to in-game, that's something we don't know of just yet, but on paper, it's a pretty big change. As for the Cordite, you end up having the belt-fed operator mod having a reduced overheat cooldown speed, so slight nerf to that. It also had a reduction in the recoil stability for the grip attachment, and on PC only, it reduced the hipfire accuracy. As for the SOG 9mm, it reduced the sprint out speed. It's now in the line with all the other SMGs. It also reduced the base movement speed, which also now is in line with all the other SMGs. The stock attachment reduced the ADS move speed. As well, it'll have a reduced ADS move speed with the stock 2 attachment. The grip attachment in particular had a reduction to the recoil stability. On PC only, you had a reduction in the hipfire accuracy. And then on console only, you have the dual wield operator mod having 2 things changed to it. One, reduced the hipfire accuracy with that, and it also reduced the max damage range from 11.1 yards to 8.3 yards. As for the Daemon, rounding out the SMGs here at this, we see an improved max damage range from 6.9 yards to 9 yards, so a little bit more damage range on that one, and on PC only, it improved the hipfire accuracy as with the other SMGs. For the tactical rifles, the Auger DMR will improve the ADS move speed, it'll also improve the firing speed, and the double tap operator mod will improve the firing time between shots. So that means this thing is getting a hardcore buff, and whenever you take a look at the Auger, even though it might not be the best or most favorable weapon in a lot of scenarios, it has the fastest time to kill compared to all other weapons that aren't one-shots like a sniper. So to be able to buff that even further, you might be seeing a lot more Auger meta play in the near future. As for the ABR-223, that ended up having an improved ADS move speed and also improved sprint out speed. So a little bit of buff there as well. The Swordfish as well has an improved ADS speed, and with a quick draw 2 attachment in particular, it improved the ADS in speed even further. For PC only on the Swordfish, it improved the burst delay, allowing for faster sustained fire rates, but that's only on PC. As for the LMGs, the Titan is finally being touched again, as it has not been for quite some time. But that is one that will still probably be a little bit of an issue depending on who you ask, but it's maybe not going to be as relevant of a problem. Because it did have a couple of things touched in the nerfs, but is it all that much? That comes down to your own preference. But it had a reduction in the flinch resistance when being hit, it reduced the max damage from 46 to 38, and the stock attachment reduced the ADS move speed. Now, the big thing that I always found the Titan to be fantastic for was, one, obviously that damage, so that's going to be taken away a little bit, but also the move speed overall. Not with the stock attachment, but just the movement and mobility that you have with a Titan. It's comparable to a rifle, and in some cases, given your class setup, even SMGs. So to be able to move that much, I don't know if that's going to negate all the problems with the Titan, but you might be seeing it a little bit less. As for the Hades, it only had one thing changed to it, that it was PC only, that being the crossbar operator mod. It reduced the spread accuracy. As for the sniper rifles, the Paladin HB50 had one thing changed here at this in the upcoming patch, that being on PC only as well, in which it improved the rechamber speed to be same as the console version. The Outlaw had a bunch of changes, but it is only PC only for the most part. There was one console only change in which it improved the firing speed, which is going to be curious to see how this plays out. And then on PC only, you have a couple of changes to the attachments of the quick draw, which improved the ADS in speed. The bolt cylinder operator mod reduced the fire rates, and then also it fixed the bug that allowed extra damage to the neck when using the recon optic. As for the final sniper up on deck here, that being the Koshka, the improved ADS sway is going to be visible come Tuesday, and on console only, the quick draw 2 attachment will have improved ADS in speed. For PC only, it will improve the rechamber speed to be same as consoles. Getting down to the final couple of things here at this, the pistols, there's one in particular, the RK7 Garrison, improved all damage ranges, which, if you're a pistol fan, that's probably a good thing. That thing was an absolute pea shooter. As for the shotguns, we end up seeing the Mag 12 had a handful of changes here at this one. The Dragon's Breath operator mod now does one quick blast of fire damage instead of damage over time, and this increases its one-hit kill potential at certain ranges, and, as they say, is especially effective when paired with the choke barrel. It also improved the max damage range from 3.75 yards to 4.1 yards, and the quick draw attachment in particular had an improved ADS in speed. For console only, the barrel choke had an improved accuracy with pellet damage and max damage range increases as well. So the Mag 12, by all accounts, just got a little bit better. And then finally, rounding out not only these shotguns, but also the weapon tuning. As of Tuesday's upcoming update, the SG-12 had one change to the strobe light operator mod, in which it reduced the luminosity on the visual light effect. So it shouldn't blind you as much, and hopefully it shouldn't be as annoying now if you run up against it. But that said, while we've had these weapon tuning changes coming up, we also have a few things in the way of specialist equipment, as well as score streaks and gear, and a couple of things on perks as well we can run by real quick and let you know about. As for Prophet, this is where he's going to see a change to his Seeker shock drone. It'll greatly reduce the Seeker's hit points, and now it can be destroyed with one bullet. Also, it reduced the detection range against enemies with cold-blooded, so nerfing that a little bit, which is definitely great, because I feel like that's all I ever die to anymore is the Seeker shock drones. That said, Ajax also had a couple of things changed with the 9-bang in particular. It reduced the visual opacity of the screen flash when hit by the 9-bang, then players will no longer raise their hand when flashed if they have Tac Mask, and also, players can now change stances while flashed, whereas they could not before. And then in general, all active specialist weapons now lose all cooldown on a round change as opposed to partial loss previously. So if I interpret that right, just make sure that you don't use your specialist ability going into the end of a half or end of a round within an objective-based game mode. So that's something that I don't think that I've ever done, but maybe there is somebody out there that may have had that happen to them. Just make sure you are conscious of when that round will end. As for the equipment, the frag grenade will increase the damage, and the concussion grenade, players can now stun themselves with their own concussion grenades, and players will no longer raise their hands when affected by concussion grenade if they have Tac Mask as well. There's one piece of gear that was adjusted, that being the Acoustic Sensor. It reduced the ranges at which the Acoustic Sensor can detect enemies, so it's not as great for picking up where players are. That was already nerfed a couple of months back, I think probably a month or two after the launch of the game, and then it also reduced the ranges at which enemies with dead silence are detected as well. Tac Mask has a couple of things on deck. Players now recover faster from being hit with a Tempest. Players will no longer raise their hand when flashed by the 9-bang, and one pretty big one is that it no longer will provide fire or radiation resistance. Instead, that's since been moved over from Tac Mask to now Flak Jacket, which, talking about that a little bit, again, it moved that ability over from Tac Mask to now Flak Jacket, offering a little bit more in terms of what that perk has on offer, and then it also improved the Flak Jacket resistance to radiation and the burn just as a whole. So definitely an interesting little shakeup of the Tac Mask versus Flak Jacket meta. As for Cold-Blooded, the final perk that is up on deck here with that reduced the range at which an enemy Seeker can detect the player with this perk. Kind of already just rounding back and tying off the loose ends for what we talked about with the profit reduction here just a minute ago. And I promise the final things we'll talk about here at this one come down to some score streaks. The Lightning Strike had a reduction in the delay between targeting locations and the jets arriving. The Sentry had an improvement to the damage. It improved the time that the Sentry will remember a target after losing them in their sight, and also it improved the range at which a Sentry will detect an enemy within a 360-degree radius. The Drone Squad improved the damage. The Sniper's Nest increased the number of rockets required to destroy the Sniper's Nest by 1, which is actually pretty big because that score streak is lethal sometimes, and it really does do its damage. So to have extra defense against the enemy, that's big. Then we have the Mantis, which improved the explosive damage radius. The Thresher improved the chain gun explosive radius and damage, and it improved the health of the vehicle to balance damage dealt from an enemy with FMJ2. We talked about that here on the channel recently, that a sniper with the FMJ2 could take that out in one shot, so hopefully that's not the case anymore. The Strike Team improved the awareness radius, and it also improved the health regeneration rate of the Strike Team members. As for general score streak changes, the score streak team kills will no longer count towards the team kill kick limit in modes with friendly fire on, that being hardcore modes. But that said, that is everything that was detailed here as of last night, coming in Tuesday's upcoming 1.13 patch. And the big thing with this is this isn't all that's coming. So this is already a ton of stuff on deck that we have already available for us to know and look out for. But holy crap, if this is just dropped out of the blue, what else is on deck for Tuesday in terms of either adjustments to the gameplay or content in general? I'm excited to see, but that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for sticking around if you guys did make it this far. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, zombies. We got you covered the best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. You guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. Those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. Well, let's send it out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Mine is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.